is Innocentia Mahlangu. I'm from South Africa, and I'm a civil engineer and project manager, servicing the mining, metals, and infrastructure sectors. I've been involved in in these industries now for approximately 12 years, working on a variety of projects within South Africa, the African continent, as well as globally. I believe Africa rather, has huge potential, untapped potential in terms of mining and mineral exploration, also infrastructure development, as well as energy sectors. There's a lot of development that still needs to take place in Africa. There's also a lot of reserves that remain untapped. Certainly the opportunities are there, but we need to decide as the continent how we can explore these opportunities. But certainly they're available for the taking. When I started my career as a woman in engineering, I felt outnumbered. Certainly the percentage of women in the workplace was not nearly enough, such that I didn't see myself being reflected in the industry. I didn't see myself progressing in the industry. And a lot of women struggle with this, especially as they start their careers, where they don't see that representation, which is the first challenge. And then the second challenge is once they start trying to build their careers in the industry, then there's certain inhibitors that prevent them from progressing, certainly in a similar way as their male counterparts. So that's definitely a challenge that remains, and it's globally. It's in fact in the sectors of science, technology, engineering, mathematics. It's prevalent in the construction and built environment. And in the past years, I've seen some progress where you see a lot of young people being inspired to take up careers in these industries, especially women. You see a new energy being put into encouraging more women to take up careers in this. And these are some of the initiatives that I'm certainly passionate about. So She Engineers was birthed from that need, realizing that there is a gap. More of us need to do something to try and attract more women to the sector, but also retain them. So She Engineers was founded to establish that link between women that are more experienced in the industry, helping other women that are coming up to say, we're also here, we see your challenges, but we're there to actually help you progress. So She Engineers is birthed from that. There's also another initiative that I want to just touch on, which is the Women in the Built Environment Initiative. This is a partnership that the South African Institution of Civil Engineering has with the Women in the Built Environment Initiative, or WITBI. So within this initiative as well, it's founded around the premise of we need more women to take up careers in the built environment, but to also stay and progress and succeed in the built environment. So WITBI is then established as this network or global network for women in the built environment, where we can all connect. It's app-based, or mobile app-based, where different women can come in, post their questions, queries, challenges that they're experiencing in their own careers, and then a global expert of other women will comment on that and provide guidance. WITBI as well also runs a series of webinars or workshops just for enlightenment on specific topics that are really that touch on some of the challenges that women face in the built environment. And I think the more we have such initiatives, the better we can change the landscape. So in terms of the background to the South African Institution of Civil Engineering, which is SAICI, it's one of the largest organizations for civil engineering professionals or those in the civil engineering profession in South Africa. It's a member-based organization, so we have about 15,000 members, comprising of engineers, technologists, technicians in different disciplines within civil engineering. So in terms of the amount of skill set or knowledge base we have within the organization, so that's quite rich. And within this organization, we realize that the gender inequalities in our industries that many of us operate in are pronounced. And SAICI can be the driving or leading voice in this conversation. So we established the Diversity and Inclusivity Panel as part of SAICI's Growing Forward strategy to say we need to do more to improve diversity and inclusion in the industry. So it was birthed from that. And I chair then the diversity and inclusion panel within SAICI. And within that, it started with us articulating what we stand for, to say we want an engineering profession that is inclusive to not only women, but persons of disabilities, to youth, all sorts of varieties or differentiators. So we want the industry to be more inclusive. And we've articulated our commitment to our members, to the industry at large, and we see ourselves as being advocate and contributors to changing that landscape. In terms of the initiatives that we continuously implement is an awareness of the challenges that's being faced by the men and women that are in the industry and advocating for change, but also showing some of the strides that are being made to try and change the landscape. And also we the initiative that I was talking about, the Women in the Built Environment Initiative, SAICI has partnered with that initiative as another pillar to say this is how we can help more women progress in this industry. We also have our Women in Leadership program where we providing some education and training to women in the industry as well. And then we offer different levels of professional development which are targeted at women. We go out to schools, encourage young girls to take up careers in our industry because we need to fix the pipeline as well. But also, institutions of higher education where those that have decided to take up careers in our sector, we encourage them to say there is a future for you and you can certainly succeed. So those are the different initiatives that we currently engaged in. Well, as an operator here, once it once we're what keyless he started eat in a power model to sue and excel or persevere here around outside. So I wrote the book Unleash Your Unique Advantage in the year 2020. And if anybody remembers what happened there, just during COVID. And how it started or how it evolved, I was reflecting on my career in engineering, and I realized I had benefited from a lot of mentors that have supported me, that have taught me some tips and tricks to navigate a career in engineering. And I realized that not a lot of women have access to that. They don't have access to that voice that'll tell them it's okay to feel outnumbered. It's okay to feel out of place. This is how you can empower yourself in an environment where you are outnumbered. So I wrote the book Unleash Your Advantage almost as an extension of mentorship, such that somebody that's taking up a career in engineering, they want to know how can one, position themselves to succeed. What are the challenges that they're likely to face? And then I wrote that then in the book for them to pick up that book and have that as somewhat of a guide to help them to navigate their careers, but to also encourage them, to keep going, encourage them to stay, encourage them or give them some techniques on how they can better and empower themselves. And the reason it's called Unleash Your Advantage is that often women come into the industry and they feel that they have to change. They shouldn't leverage their strength. They should fit the mold or box that's been put such, they must fit into that box. And for me, with Unleash Your Unique Advantage, I'm certainly challenging that. And I'm saying you can thrive in the industry by showing up as your best self, and your unique strengths are what the industry actually needs. And that's what the book is about. Project management is another field that I believe Africa should really focus on. The Project Management Institute forecasts that by 2030, there'll be millions of project professionals required. And that shows the growing demand for project management. And if Africa is to advance in terms of projects, to advance in terms of investing in the mining, metals, infrastructure, energy sectors, whatever those sectors are, we need more project managers. Unfortunately, project management as well remains a field, specifically within the construction and built environment. It remains a field where there's not a lot of women that are participating there. So we need to do more if we are to grow the next generation of project managers. We must ensure that women are included in there. And in terms of how we get more women included in there, it's the same or similar techniques as one would adopt in getting more women involved in STEM subjects. It's the awareness. It's about ensuring that the careers in project management are presented as viable options for women. But it's also advocating for more inclusive work environments where a woman comes in as a project manager and they don't feel like their skills or capabilities are undermined just because they're women. So I believe these are the strides that we can make in advancing project management within the African continent.